Welcome to People First Builders, celebrating leaders in construction who build success through their people. My name is Fletcher Wimbush, your host. I'm the CEO of Discover.ai, a performance hiring software helping small and mid-sized AEC companies solve their hardest problem, people. We help people first leaders install and execute repeatable talent acquisition systems that drive business results by hiring top performers, lowering turnover, and building world-class company cultures. Stick around to the end and you can learn more about how to become a guest on our podcast and share your story with the world. Welcome to the People First Builders podcast. My name is Fletcher Wimbush. I'm your host. Today, I've got a really great duo, Cory and Chad Kundert, and they are leaders in the construction space. I think they're very aligned with this mission of, hey, people are the most important asset here, so I'm looking forward to chatting with them. Cory, he's the CEO, speaker, and advocate for culture-driven leadership in the trades. With a background in organizational change management, workforce development, and trade education, Cory focuses on building strong teams, improving processes, promoting leadership that empowers rather than micromanages. He has held leadership roles at America's Credit Union, UW Health, and in local government, and is the founder of Wisco Legacy Media, where he creates podcasts highlighting inspiring Wisconsin figures. Chad, I'm assuming you guys are you guys brothers or cousins?
We're brothers.
Or father-son. So you're the founder of Kundert Construction. You guys been at this for a long time, since 1998. What are we at? Like 27 plus years now?
Yep.
And a seasoned construction professional with decades of hands-on and leadership experience. You began roofing and residential building before launching your own company, which has since become a PDB accredited and regionally recognized operation. Chad is deeply connected to the Monroe, Wisconsin community and committed to quality craftsmanship. So, guys, thanks for joining me. Tell me about your operation. Like, what are you guys building? How many people you have? How'd you get to where you're at today?
So I'll hop in. So, like you said, Chad started the business back in 1998. We're based in Monroe, Wisconsin, so about an hour south of Madison here. We are mostly a residential construction company. So we're a general contractor. We build new homes. We do additions, remodels, decks, siding. We recently opened a window and door division here.
Nice.
We have a partnership with a window and door company called Provia. And it's we have a really strong foothold here in our area. Our mission here goes above and beyond what we're building. Our mission is to elevate the trades. So being on your podcast, Fletcher, really aligns well with what we're doing, and we can talk more about what that means. But we have a good team of 10 carpenters in the field and 5 of us in the office, and just really community driven company here.
So you're not, internally, not necessarily a huge headcount, but I imagine you work with a lot of trades. You're subbing out a lot of work, and you've felt the impact of, subs or groups of trades that are maybe highly engaged, love what they do, versus ones that are maybe a bit of a dumpster fire, I guess, right? So how does that, how do you guys become such a strong advocate, as a local builder? Where's that passion come from? I speculated a little bit, but share your perspective.
Oh, I don't know. Everything started back when I was a kid, right? Our dad was a carpenter. Cory wasn't around yet, so there's 16 and a half years between the two of us. And so our dad was a carpenter, and he got injured and wasn't able to do construction anymore. So he went back to school and got a degree and moved on to an office job. But anyway, I always just loved the trades. Always really got deep into And, I'd grab lumber and just start building stuff when I was a kid, and
Nice.
just had a passion for it. And, your dad's your hero. So, it was just one of those things that I knew I wanted to be a carpenter, right?
Yeah. Naturally rubbed off on you.
Yeah.
I can resonate with that. I get to be with my father every day and doing conversations like this. So okay, so you get the itch and you start your career then in the trades. It sounds like, or
Yep.
what's your path?
So in high school, we have we had a program called Capstone, and that was where we built a house. There was 18 of us
Yeah.
from my class. That one poor teacher had to deal with all 18 of us, and
A job site, yeah.
yeah,
Don't
we built the whole house. And that was just really cool. And so right out of high school, well, actually the summer before my senior year, I started working for a local contractor and worked for him for several years out of school. And I did do a year of college, and that just wasn't my thing. I work with my hands, right? So
yeah.
1998, I was 22 years old. I decided well, if somebody else can do a company, I can do one too. So I started up my own company.
Yeah. Nice. So pretty young.
Yeah.
What did you start out doing in your business? Were you just doing carpentry work, or were you doing GC? What was your focus of
We were mostly shingling, a lot of roofing.
Okay.
And we got teamed up with a couple lumber yards that, well, we're the new kids on the block, right? So I ended up doing a lot of barn roofs and really crappy work to get started. But
Yeah.
we rolled up our sleeves and got into it and made the best of it. And almost 30 years later, now we're building a lot of new homes and some high-end remodels.
Yeah, nice. So obviously you have a lot of empathy for the trades. You went through it yourself. You saw your father go through that path, and you work with a lot of trades and have a team. What are you guys doing to, what is your angle, and what are some of the things that you've been able to do to help encourage people to go into the trades, make this a more attractive job, support the folks that are doing this hard work?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we're doing. So we partner with our local high school here in Monroe on a lot of different initiatives. We worked with NARI, the National Association of the Remodeling Industry, the local chapter here, to throw a trades day at the high school. So we had 245 kids come through on this day and do hands-on work with electricians, plumbers, some carpentry work, and tile work and things like that. And that sparked a ton of interest from the students. And we're kind of a rural community, so we've got a really good group of folks here in this community that give back and pour into that program, the Tech Ed program. But we, on top of that, we partner with a local economic developer who also partners with the school to build a new home, kind of like what they did in Capstone,
Yeah.
like Chad was in. And so we do a lot of work on that end, do a lot of speaking at schools and for associations and things like that. But really, kind of back to our mission of elevate the trades. When we think about elevating the trades, it's getting that next generation excited about the trades, into the trades, but it's also us pouring into our employees. If we have somebody here who wants to become a leader, how can we help create that path to get them that's the skills that'll make them become a leader? It's
Do you have any good examples of where you've been able to do that? Take somebody who was a carpenter and get them to that next level. I always love good story around that.
Yeah. We're working on one right now. So, one of our carpenters, he's been a framer for 9 years, prior to coming here, and he's never officially been in a leadership role, and he's had some opportunities to lead some smaller projects here and there, and been kind of working with him on developing, the people side, the skill side, and that's a lot of my background is in training and developing people. So, understanding people's personalities and how you interact on a job site, and getting people set up for success when they're out on the job site. That's really critical. So, trying to teach those skills here and there when we have time.
Yeah, I don't know how many trades or construction companies are putting on say personality awareness or communications workshops for their trades, maybe for their leadership teams, right? But to start educating them, I think it's kind of an afterthought, right? If you have a frontline worker, it's like, why are we going to spend time investing in teaching them these things when but I love that. So you give the guy a chance, right? You carve out and you take a risk on somebody. Hey, we're going to give you the first stepping stone. Here's your first project. You get to be the lead on that. And I think that's scary for a lot of leaders, right? Like, oh, what if it goes wrong and the customer hates us or like it's a disaster or we lose money on the project, right? And I think a lot of leaders might lead from fear in that sense. Well, we're not going to give people a chance because I can't risk it going wrong. How do you overcome that?
Go ahead, Chad.
A lot of times, even with the current leaders, I'll get a phone call every once in a while, and they're gonna ask questions like about, let's say, a project we're doing. What should I do here? And usually, my answer back to them is a question like, "What would you do if it was your house? You've been in the trades almost as long as me or longer.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think is the proper thing to do? What's going to keep us on budget? Not going to keep us on budget. Now, ever talk to us about how we should write this change order. The customer understands it. Right. Well, it's kind of how I usually answer stuff with a question back to them.
Yeah. That's a good coaching approach to leading your team then, right? You let them
Yeah. Yep.
sort of talk through that. I mean, I think that's why we go to therapists, right? They can't solve your problem, right? They can listen to you and they can encourage you to explore it, right?
Yeah. Um. So I wouldn't mind elaborating on some of the other things we do to get people into the trades or ways that we elevate the trades. We've also partnered with the local high school here, and we take on one or two apprentices a year through the local high school.
Okay.
Uh, Other thing we do is we host a thing called the round table. It has to do with that same development corp that Cory was talking about, but we get to host it. They come to our shop, and there's between 40 and 50 people usually there, and it's uh, teachers from local schools and partners in all the trades in the area. We all get together and talk about how we can elevate the trades.
So you're actually getting the educators like to the table. Do you find that they're eager to join and participate in an event like this, or has it been like sort of coercing them with like food and wine, or how do you get them?
I mean, it seems like they've been eager. Cory can elaborate more on that. He's more involved with that, but
Yeah, our area, we're fortunate. We have really good support for the trades in our area. So we had, yeah, like Chad said, 40, 50 people in the shop here a couple different times. And um, what's been great, I graduated a bunch of years ago from high school, and college was pushed really, really hard back then.
Yeah.
And now, at least in our community, our counselors and our teachers are taking the time to really understand the students, who they are, and try and get them on the right path. And that's going to fit best for them.
Yeah.
College isn't for everybody. It's great for some people. It worked for me. It didn't work for Chad, right?
Yeah.
So they're being very intentional about getting people on the right paths. And they've been super supportive of all the things that we're doing. And it's been great.
Yeah, I mean, racking up a bunch of student loan debt for maybe a liberal arts degree is not always the wisest long-term life decision that some of us make, right? I'm guilty, but I was lucky to have a very supportive family and came out relatively unscathed. But um, yeah, so I like that. I think we're beginning to see that a bit of a change of the tune across the nation. Maybe in a community like yours, as you said, it might be a little more natural. But I mean, I think even here in big metros, I'm in the Los Angeles metro, and I actually, my kid on my t-ball team, his parent is like leading this sort of occupational career counseling kind of department for the Long Beach Unified School District, which is a huge school district, right? In a big giant metro, right? And I was surprised, talking to him after a game. He was talking about these things, even in a place like this, right? So probably a little harder to move the needle, than in a small community, but it's good that it's at least beginning to shift. I mean, so as a kid, I mean, as an apprentice, what do they make? And as a maybe now they're out of high school, they're working full time as a junior or trade or journeyman, working towards something like that. I mean, what kind of income can they make?
I mean, your apprentice is going to make anywhere from right out of high school. We start people out around anywhere from 18 to $22 an hour. Then after that, you get moved up to like a carpenter, maybe not necessarily a journeyman, but a carpenter type position, and there you're anywhere from that 22 to 25 range, and then you go up to like a journeyman level, and you're pushing 27, 30, and foreman leadership type levels are anywhere from 30 to $40 an hour anymore.
And a part of being in trades, there's a lot of overtime as well, I imagine. And I think a lot of times we talk about the dollar per hour, but the reality is, I mean, these kids are making a lot more than that, I assume, right?
Yeah, I mean, basically starting out, you're going to make between 40 and $50,000 a year, and
Yeah.
all the way up to over 100. If you're good, right?
It's a pretty simple mathematical equation, right? So you can go in debt for $50,000 a year or make $50,000,
Right.
and by the time, I mean, if the kid's real, if young person is really engaged, I mean, how long does it take them to become a journeyman?
Usually 3, 4 years.
Okay. So by the
Yeah.
time you graduate from college with $200,000 in debt, you could be easily making over six figures, or
It's
in,
possible.
yeah. And
Yep.
especially in big metros. I mean, I think a lot of the journeymen are, I mean, in NorCal, like journeyman electrician are making $180,000 a year.
Right. Right.
Right. So, um,
Yep.
maybe not their fourth year, but like probably by their sixth year, if they're any good, right?
Yep.
Like if they're good at what they do and they care and they're good for customers and they're learning their craft, I mean, easily people would gladly pay them that because supply and demand, right?
Yeah. So one of the schools I spoke at last year, the teacher said to the classroom after I talked about the money, he said, "Well, kids, put this into perspective. I went to school for 4 years. I I had what do you say, 75, $80,000 worth of debt. I got out of school, and he said teachers start out at $42,000 a year.
Yeah.
He's like, you guys can not have to go to school, and you can be starting out at $50,000 a year almost, and you're not paying back debt after it."
Yeah. And the construction and trades is such a great opportunity to make a great living, have a great quality of life, but it's also a great jumping off point to become an entrepreneur, like your example, right, Chad?
Right. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, being part of a high quality shop who cares about your development as a leader and is going to create those opportunities for you are the paths. I mean, you can be a trade and make great money and don't need to go into leadership either, right? Not everybody's cut out for that or wants to do that. I mean, there are headaches being a leader, right? That maybe not all of us want to endure, but so you have a lot of different paths, right? You can be very successful as a trade and be somebody who's out there working with your hands every day and just continue to advance. You can move into different leadership roles. You can take a more entrepreneurial path, right? So a lot of really phenomenal paths that are open to you. So, there's no reason not to at least consider it as an alternative option. Uh, career path, right? So are the students, you say you have 200 plus students come to an event. I'm just out a little bit curious. Are they forced to come, or is this like, do they get to raise their hand and say, oh,
So the way they set this up, they have like the freshmen and sophomores come to these. They pull them out of like the English classes and things like that. So they're forced, but um, a lot of times they'll end up coming back multiple times during the day, and you can see that at least a fair number of them, that spark and that trigger the next time they come in, like, oh, hey, come here, check this out. I know how to put these deck boards together and things like that. So
Yeah.
It's
that was
all
pretty good.
stations of hands-on work.
Okay. So they get to like do a piece of the puzzle like throughout the process, and
Yeah, and what's cool, last year we held this day after they signed up for classes, and they had a bunch of students that wanted to switch into the tech ed classes. So this year we're actually moving it up a couple months, so it's ahead of class selection. So hopefully those classes fill up even more.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's cool to see the real impact that happens from these events.
Well, they force the kids to go to English class too, so
Right.
might as well. And they either love it or they hate it, right? So I like this. No, yeah, forced to at least expose. I mean, I don't know. Do they still have like wood shop, metal shop? I did all that stuff, but
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
it'd be way better if that was a hands-on build a house, right? And we had a auto shop too, and so guys would work on their cars, and they'd come out with a restored Chevy, right? That's there's an end in mind. I think, right? That's one of the beauties of building is that you get to create something. There's a start and a finish, and then something to be proud of at the end of that, right?
Yep.
So that's really, really cool. Well, what any other kind of strategies that you guys have found to attract or to retain folks that you feel like has been super impactful, maybe beyond some of the early education, or kind of encouraging younger folks to be excited about this that you found successful?
Yeah, I think, Chad, you can feel free to dip in here too, but I think one of the things that's been really beneficial for us is on our marketing side. We talk a lot about culture. We talk about our people on our social media and things like that. So we are, every couple of weeks we bring everybody together and do team meetings. We talk about that on social media. We talk about our goals, our dreams, how we want to elevate the trades and these things. And people see that culture. They see what we're building here. And I think that's been a good way to get word of mouth out about who we are and what we do. Um, obviously, everybody has those job openings. You post them on Indeed, you post them on your website, things like that. We don't get a ton of applicants that come through those channels. A lot of it is people coming directly to us, saying, "Hey, I'm looking for a job," and if we have a spot for those A players, we're gonna make a spot for them if we don't. So, Chad, feel free to kind of
Sometimes,
tack on.
a lot of times it's people just hear that it's a good place to work, right? Treat our people right. We, like Cory said, we try to get in touch with our team and find out what drives them, right? And we try to get them to or help them along the way to accomplish some of those goals. Like,
I would assume some of those are personal goals, not just professional goals too, right?
yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chad, what do you always say? You got to build your dreams.
Oh, build your dreams so big that everyone else's can fit inside. Hey, yeah. I stole that one from Tommy Mello, and I think he stole that from somebody else. So it's a good one though.
It is a good one, right? That's at the end of the day, right? You have to be able to envision what you want your life to look like, and everything we do personally and professionally, right, has to sort of align or go towards that. But if you don't have a vision, it's hard to where's your
Yeah.
direction, right?
A couple people we've been able to help them achieve the goals that they've wanted, and a couple of them are on their way. So I mean, it's working. Just got to
Yeah.
listen to your people.
Yeah. Well, I like what you guys said about, hey, we talk about it all the time. You've got really clear about what your culture and kind of your values are. And then, but making it public, like putting it on social and going on a podcast and talking about it all the time, it makes it really hard to not to do those things, right? you're holding yourself accountable. Nobody wants to say one thing and do another thing, right? So when you're so vocal about it and can put it so far out there, it creates this natural set of accountability as leaders to hey, we're going to walk the walk because we said we're going to do this, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's an interesting little twist. I'd like I'd like the folks listening to this to think about, right? Is I think so often people create core values and they put them on a wall maybe or in a piece of paper and they never really do anything about it. It's that vocalization. And then if you really put that out in the public, then you create some accountability for yourself and everybody else around you to say, wait a second, maybe I'm not living up to that. I better change course. Right. And,
Yeah.
because nobody else
And
will do it. Go.
I've put my personal struggles out there for these guys too. Everybody's got to see it. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and I think that's so true, right? Well, why do we work?
Right.
Well, I mean, because we want to take care of our family. We want to improve our quality of life as human beings. We're curious creatures, humans, right? We're always evolving, always growing. At least most of us, right? I think the vast majority of us, and the ones that aren't, I think, probably lost their way and they wish they were, right?
Yep.
And so if we can help those types of people get back on track, that's also very valuable too, right?
Yep.
So, no, that's great. So I love it. So, I appreciate the advocacy. I mean, how can folks get in touch with you guys? What kinds of outreach is great outreach for you guys?
So you can reach us on our website, kundertconstruction.com. We have, our Facebook, Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn a lot. So if anybody's interested in talking about culture, leadership, storytelling, things like that, feel free to reach out to me. Or if you're a huge advocate of the trades and want to help elevate the trades, I'm happy to chat. So, reach out to me on LinkedIn.
Awesome. Chad, any best ways to get in touch with you? Any good contacts that you'd like folks to reach out to you about?
Just what he said. I don't do much with the social media or anything like that. So,
No worries.
yeah, probably just underconstruction.com be the
Yep.
best place to get hold of me.
Awesome. Well, look, if I were to need to remodel my house or want to build a custom house in your neighborhood, I'd rather work with a company like yours than one who is maybe not as vocal about what they're doing and how they're supporting their people, right? And uh, for those who aren't, have had bad experiences with contractors in the past, it's usually the good ones are the ones that are caring about the people, taking care of their people. They're going to show up excited to take good care of you and do a good job and have pride. As your great example, if this was your house, what would you do? They would treat your,
Yeah, that's another important part of our business here is the customer's experience. So
Yeah.
that's high on our list too.
Yeah. So it's a win-win-win, right? When we start to reframe these conversations about our people and the trades, right? Everybody wins. The customer gets a better experience and the people in the business do as well, right? So awesome. Well, I'll put everything in the show notes, and when we share this on the socials and the different channels here, the contact information, the website, and Cory's LinkedIn will be there available for anybody who wants to reach out. Thank you guys for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for listening to our People First Builders podcast. If you're a successful construction CEO and would like to tell your story on this program, please visit our podcast homepage, FletcherWimbush.com/peoplefirstbuilders, or check it out in the notes below. If you got something out of this interview and would like to share the episode on socials, we always appreciate that. Just take a quick screenshot with your phone, text it to a friend, or post it to the socials. If you know someone who might be a great guest, tag them on social and let them know. And don't forget, #PeopleFirstBuilders. I love seeing your posts and guest suggestions. We're regularly putting out new content. To make sure that you don't miss out on any episodes, go ahead and hit subscribe on your favorite podcast channel. Your thumbs up and ratings and reviews go a long way to help promote the show and mean a lot to me and my team. Want to know more? Go to our website, FletcherWimbush.com, or follow me on LinkedIn. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.